What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two different cryptos in this video, Toshi and Turbo. We'll talk about Toshi first, then move on to Turbo in the second half of this video. If that sounds good to you guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's just get into it, okay? Here we are. It is the 6th day of November. Here we are at about $30514 right now. Toshi with a massive correction over the past 4 days. Now, we actually dropped like 16.5% on the third there, and we haven't really recovered yet. I do expect Toshi to recover. I do expect to move higher. I'm a bit surprised by this movement down this week, right? We're down 24.8% this week. It is a bit surprising, but I'm not concerned at all with the overall trajectory that we have here. I think that we've got a lot of upside to go, and really, Toshi's at a better price to buy now than it has been in a very long time. If we look at this range that we've been in, again, right, we've been finding resistance here at this point consistently over the months, right? We've been finding resistance here at this point here, and the pressure, it's almost as if it's building up to this point, and we're going to break out to the upside. Well, unfortunately, we broke out a little bit to the downside, didn't we? If we look at this line here, every single time that we've been below this line, right, we're finding support on it most of the time, but every single time we've been below this line has been a perfect area to buy. Unfortunately, not any of these times have really been this far below this line. This is a bit dramatic, I would say. And perhaps, maybe we can connect the dots here. Maybe we can connect the dots with these levels. I don't know how it is. I still think we're trending higher overall. I still think that we have higher lows, but this is a bit of a setback. Now, on the bright side of things, we are finding support right now at the base of this kind of area that we've really been in since May, right? We've just been in this kind of horizontal range, peeking out to the upside, peeking out to the downside here and there. But we're at the base of this range right now. So regardless of what our prior theory was on Toshi, being that we would hold this line for support and that any price level below it was very short-lived and it was a prime time to buy, I still think that's true. I still think it's a great time to buy here. It's just this is a little bit further away than what we've seen typically, and it's looking like we could even close the week down here. But overall, again, the purpose of looking at the weekly time frame here is just to show where we are overall in an uptrend, higher lows and higher highs, okay, since August, with a little blemish here to our new all-time highs, the Coinbase listing. We're pushing higher and higher up to this point of resistance here, and I do believe that when we break above this, we're going to see the price teleport to new all-time highs. We're going to straight go up to like 1 cent in a day, man. It's going to be crazy, and maybe not in one day, but you know what I mean. I want to look at the short-term stuff. I want to see what the prospects are of finding support here and what that could mean for us going forward. And if we do have lower to go, where might that be? So let's get into that. Okay, looking at the 1 hour time frame, zooming way the hell in now. Way the hell in. Definitely looking like we're finding support here. And I want to look at you through the lens of something with volume. So let's look at Coinbase. Coinbase here bouncing off of the oversold zone. The RSI overall is very bearish. Actually, it's very bearish overall. Consistently finding resistance here, consistently getting oversold, not getting overbought, right? Living below the 50, very bearish. But you are at a point where you could expect to find support. You've got this double bottom look about you. Stochastic suggests that we're moving up higher, and the MACD, there is some bullish divergence there, but I don't know if it's anything to play off of. It's the 1 hour time frame, so I'm not going to weigh on that too much. Really, I like the structure that we have here, right? You've got this kind of W shape, and typically that can promote some growth. So really, what we're looking for right now is any kind of life at all above this price. Once we get above that price there, 0.000573, we should see some rapid recovery at least here to 3062, if not most likely all the way up to these areas here at about 3072, something in that zone there, right? I really would expect that once we break above here, we're really just on a straight path up to this level here. But we could get tied up at this level momentarily, continue to rally. But things are looking good. I like what we're doing here. We do not want to go, if we do go lower, we don't want to go too much lower, right? We want to provide a fake out, not a continuation of this move down. And looking at the 1 hour time frame, I would say that we are due for some upside, so that's good. If we do go lower, I don't think that we do, but if we do go lower, oh, nice 886 bounce there. 3047 to 30446 would be the next target area to consider, okay? 4 hour time frame, looking at this here, the 4 hour, zooming out a little bit. We do have lower lows on a closing basis. We do have higher lows on the MACD. That is bullish divergence on the 4 hour MACD. We have lower lows on a price closing basis, higher lows in the stochastics. That is bullish divergence there, and you're bouncing right off the oversold zone. Bullish divergence on the RSI. In fact, that's double bullish divergence on the RSI alongside of an overall double bottom. Okay, you got one drive, two drives of bullish divergence here, bouncing off the oversold zone, double bottom. if the 1 hour wasn't telling us this, the 4 hour is definitely telling us that the low is likely in, that this is a bottoming point. And I do think that we had it, that we had the right assumption at first, that this is where the W starts, is all the way up there, right? We're probably, whenever we get above this point here at 000573, when we get above there, we're probably going to straight teleport all the way up to 307 or higher, right? Something up in this area here. Might this provide a inverse head and shoulders pattern whenever it's all said and done? It might. That something like that could very well happen. But looking at all these indicators here, there's definitely some promise. I would say there's some very bullish promise right here. Looking like things are gearing up to turn around. Things might not be super mega bullish over the next couple of days, but I would assume, going into next week, starting on like the 9th, maybe to the 16th there, somewhere in that kind of time frame, we should see Toshi coming back to life and making strides higher. Okay, daily time frame, dramatically lower levels on your MACD here. Wow, that's a very big stab down. You don't really see levels like this too often, do you? We have seen lower. We definitely have seen lower, but man, this is pretty uncommon stuff. Very, very deep in the bearish territory there. Stochastics are bearish, and the RSI is also bearish as well. Some of the lowest levels in the RSI that we've seen since June, and then even before then April, right, where we were at our various low points. So I think that we are at a low point here. Let's just look. I'm kind of curious. Let's just see real quick. High to low, 45%. It's a pretty big drop. High to low, 43%. Hey, you see it? Do you see it? Do you see what I'm? You picking up what I'm putting down? Wait for it. Wait for it. Check it out. Ready? High. Look at that. Look at that. It's as if we're ending here with the same readings we had here on the RSI, with the same readings that we had here on the MACD. Well, maybe not quite the same readings, I guess. Maybe with the oscillators, but the exact same movement too, overall, right? Finding support at prior support, right at prior resistance as well. I think this is perfect. I really do think the low is in. And if we go lower, we go a couple percent lower, maybe 4% lower than where that low is there, right? We're probably not going to go too much lower. I really do think we're at an area of support. And as we can see here, what happened after this, right? Well, here on a daily perspective, it's the 7th of April. Less than a week later, we were up 115%. Here, it was the 22nd of June. One day later, we were up 36%. And less than a month later, we were up a whole 100%. Here, I would imagine that within the next week to a month, we're probably up 100% as well. So by the end of this month, if not by the end of next week, we could expect to see 201 come back into play. And I really wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of the month of November, we were actually well past that and we were breaking out of this overall zone here. But just speaking in congruence with what we saw in the last two drops, very similar to this drop here. I just can't help it, right? Doesn't this part, don't they all look the same? They look like the exact same drops. They really do. They really, really do. Anyways, Toshi, looking good here. Looking like it is going to find support. We do have bullish prospects ahead for you. Oh, damn. I got a call. I'm getting a call right now. Sorry, I can't answer, buddy. I got to make videos. I'm almost done with this one, but I'm about halfway there. I might have to call him back later. It's one of my good crypto buddies. Dare I even say one of my best friends in life, actually. Yeah, I hope so. Anyways, 3052 right here. I would expect that we do move up to new all-time highs. High to low right here. 2044 to 1 cent. That's the next target area. I could see us seeing something around this level here, 0044, as early as by the end of November. Yes, by the end of November, if we see a breakout, if we do break out of this range, you guys, all hell's going to break loose to the upside. It's going to be phenomenal. If not by the end of November, then certainly by the end of the year. And if not there, then maybe 1 cent as high as like a 20x move. We could see crazy, crazy growth here, you guys, in a very short amount of time. And if it's not by the end of the year, then certainly sometime in January. I would think this is more reserved for end of year. This is more reserved for end of January, right? And then that little mid part there, tomato, tomato, take it or leave it, whatever. That's Toshi. Let's move on. Let's talk about Turbo now, okay? If it's not clear, let me just be very clear here. I think Toshi is at a low point. I don't believe it's going to go lower. If it goes lower, I doubt you go below 3044. And you're soon to return higher, right? We're at the same levels now in the RSI on the daily time frame that we were here at both of these lows before we saw rapid recoveries both times. So I do think that we're literally, I would equate exactly where we are here with where we were here, with where we were here. It's the same thing. And I mean, really, you keep going back all these lows, right? It's right at that same point. And it makes sense, if you look at this as kind of like a channel upwards, higher lows, higher highs, it makes sense. Anyways, that's Toshi. Let's talk about Turbo. Turbinsky here, from a high to a low, right around the 0.69. Nothing too crazy. Double top at the golden ratio, moving down a little bit. Let's look at the short-term stuff and then we'll zoom out. Okay, daily time frame. Screw it. Let's even look at the 1 hour time frame. I just want to look at the daily to get my bearings here. Low to high. Golden ratio, look at that, right? 1.618, perfect area for support. Scam wick here, but it still took you all the way down to the 2272, perfect. Maybe that's something that we should keep in mind. Just keep your buy orders at the 2272 of any given range, no matter what. Maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. What if we move up? No skin off your back, right? I mean, no sweat off your back. I'm sorry, skin might be worse. No sweat off your back because a move like that, you're still making money if you're invested in Toshi. But if you have some screw it money and you want to just put it at a buy order down here, it would have gotten hit if you're on like Bybit or Binance or something. Anyways, Turbo, not Toshi. I'm sorry, Turbo. Bouncing off the golden ratio here. Very nice area to find support. It looks good. I like that a lot. I want to look at the short-term stuff and then go from there. Okay, let's validate that this is a low. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, certainly seeming as though it is a low. I want to look at this on Coinbase where we have some volume. No volume on the way down. A lot of volume at the low here. Good. I like it. It looks good to me. No gaps. No gaps to the downside. What about this low to high? What do we got here? Low to high here. Golden ratio support. It's perfect, yeah. Turbo's moving up higher. Toshi's moving up higher. I would expect that out of both of them over the coming days. Bouncing off the oversold zone, stochastics look good, and the MACD is at an area to find support as well. 4 hour time frame here. The RSI is very bearish, but we're finding support at the 40. Finding support at the golden ratio will give you the benefit of the doubt. Stochastics are finding support at the 50. Good. MACD, bearish overall, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And I mean, you are building bullish momentum here. Daily time frame, zooming out a little bit here. And I think it's important to look at the all-time history now because Coinbase does not have that. And notice on Coinbase how the scam wick is not there, right? It's only here because of Bybit and Binance and larger exchanges like that. Bullish divergence. You got some pretty intense bullish divergence on your MACD here. It's nice to see. At the lows as well. Stochastics look good. The RSI, I mean, the stochastics look bad, but they look good as in they're coming up out of the oversold, and that's positive. Typically, when you do that, you expect to move up. How big is the move? It doesn't have to be tremendous, but it would at least imply a relative low here. If you want to validate this point as a low, because you've shown respect on this golden ratio, I would say you validate this point as support once you close above this golden ratio here. Above 2.0405. Whenever you close above there on a daily basis, you validate this as a low, okay? But I would start getting excited for Turbo really once you start closing days above 0.023. You start closing days above there. It's not that validates this as a low. It's just that I would be getting excited for it at that point. I think that is the low at this point. I'm confident this is the low now. But again, we're waiting for confirmation on the charts before we get too eager, okay? Or maybe I'm eager, but maybe before I recommend that anybody else gets eager, wait for 0.023 or at the very most 0.0405. Whenever we close above those points on a daily basis, that's going to be very good. And likely we will promote higher prices. So I'm feeling pretty confident that Turbo's at its low as well. And overall, again, if we look at this as some kind of scam wick, as if it's not real price action, I think what we have here is a giant W formation as well. Very giant. So I would expect with this recovery, as far as when does it get there, I don't know. Nobody knows, right? But let's assume maybe by the end of the year, maybe sometime in January or sometime next year, we will likely be above these points in price, right? So my thought here is taking a high to a low, not the fake out scam wick low, but the high to low here. My thought would be that from here, Turbo likely interacts with something around 0.087 to 1 cent, 1.1 cent by the end of November, if not sometime certainly in December. And I would think going into the end of the year, we're either going to be at our all-time high levels or contesting those and pushing higher, perhaps seeing a 15x, as much as a 15x by the end of the year or more. But I have a feeling that this 2.7 cent This 2.7, I could see this happening by the end of this year, but I would think that, you know, these higher targets, 3.8 cents, 6 cents, those will probably be reserved for January or later dates in 2026. Overall, I do anticipate that Turbo will see something on the lines of an 11.7 to 15 cent price by the end of the cycle, if not potentially. This is getting crazy, I know, but potentially as high as 66 cents. That is a 351x to put that in perspective. That would give Turbo a 100x from here is 12, let's just say 13 billion. 300x would be about $40 billion, right? So $40 billion market cap. It's high, but for a meme coin, I mean, Shiba Inu last cycle saw 50 billion. That doesn't mean that Turbo will see 40 billion or even half of 50 billion, but I'm just saying in the realm of our capabilities, what's possible. Again, let me say this clearly so that some of you who are drooling out there understand this is a possibility, but it's kind of the maximum of our limitations, right? This is a possibility as well, but it's kind of the minimum of our limitations. I don't think that we stop here by the end of the cycle. I don't think that we stop here by the end of the cycle. I think we stop somewhere in between. This 2272 is looking ripe. I very much believe Turbo will see prices above 30 cents. I don't believe we get above 66 cents, but we could get to that level. So 30 cents or more would put us at about 166x from here, which sounds crazy. I know it does, but man, from a low point here to a high point here, we've already seen a 217x. And this was without alt season. This was without the spectacular finale phase finish. This was without being listed on Coinbase, right? Now you've got exposure on all the major exchanges. The market is reset. We're going to the most spectacular part of the cycle. You got all kinds of bullish things ahead of you. I really wouldn't be surprised if 11.7 cents was the minimum, 66 cents was the maximum. We stopped somewhere right there at 30 cents in between. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye-bye.